I found out something really exciting, and Russ is
Hey,
still
Russ, we can't
talking.
hear you.
What do you need, Russ?
We can't
Oh,
hear you.
maybe he just muted us because he has a call.
Oh,
Who knows?
okay.
So, one of the, I'm not sure if you guys are at this point, but if you have not gotten a Google business profile yet, I need you to know you need to get a Google business profile.
Yeah, I
If
have.
you have a Google business profile, then I want you to know that because licensing expired for everyone on the 30th of April, if your Google business profile was certified before, your license would expire in your ad account, which means they've pulled your Google certified status,
Hmm.
which means you need to go into your Google ad account and update your date that your license is effective till. Does that make
What do you
sense?
mean by the license effective
So
till?
if you have a Google business profile, you
Yeah.
may also have a Google ad or Google local ads account.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
if you have
Okay.
a Google local ads account, they will turn off your certification if your license is not updated in their
Yeah, and
information.
I have Real Grader doing all that right now, so I should be okay.
Okay. I learned this yesterday,
Interesting.
and I'm actually thankful that someone I knew had seen my Google business account and was attempting to write a review for me. And he said, I thought you said your account was certified. And I said, yeah, it is. He said, well, whatever it was, it's not now. And I didn't even know that it had been removed. Why is this significant? Well, because if you have a Google certified account, then your account will show up as one of the first choices when someone is searching the town or the area that you work in. So mine would be an example. If someone was searching for a realtor in Buffalo Grove, Illinois, and they put that in the informational search box, if I'm not certified, I won't show up as one of the first choices.
I'd say, okay, I'm going to check now.
And getting certified means they will do a quick background, or Google does a background check on you to double check that you don't have any, um, negative stuff in your space.
Mm.
And then when they allow it, they will just eventually say, yes, you are allowed to be certified. So our job right now is when you focus on what it is, it's being used by people. You want people to use you, but they also need to know who you are. And so, one of my main platforms that I love to talk about is how do we use Google better? Because Google is the number one search engine. So, is that something that's of interest to you, Samia?
Um, Not sure, really. I mean, at this stage in my career, I'm just trying to make sure I'm present and work with my sphere, work with my realtor groups, and sure, it'd be nice when people search, they find me after 37 years. But so I'm gonna message my Real Grader people right now and make sure that that's happening.
Okay.
So, I mean, what did you have in mind as far as
Well,
how?
one thing I think we all need to do is actually have a calendar, which we're going to be talking about with Russ at 12. And one of the things on the calendar needs to
What do you
be
mean at 12?
at 12 o'clock. He's going to be back here in this room.
Oh,
And
I
he's
12
thought it was.
Central.
Oh, I thought the meeting was 11 Central.
the calendar meeting.
The time management meeting.
There's one at 12.
Okay, well then I have to excuse myself because I'm double booked and I won't be able to make that because I'm double booked for the 10 o'clock.
Okay.
my time. But so go ahead. I'm sorry, Celeste, and I'm gonna listen to you while I'm
Well, I'm
sending.
just loving that you're here. I'm feeling like there's power in even this meeting, even though it's not the calendar meeting Russ is hosting. But my emphasis would be is as much as you're scheduling your time to make phone calls to clients and perhaps agents, which I hope I know you're doing that. Um, and Russ is not being heard, so we can't hear him. But he may hear us. Who knows? My hope is that you also add into your schedule times that you're able to schedule social media posts. So, one of the things that I want to talk about is using Google on a regular basis. And I'm going to say regular being every other day. You should be posting an article or a photo or something.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about the books that we're reading. Of course, he's showing us marketing, vehicle, and events. Yes, I see it. Thank you. Yes, we can't hear you, Russ, but yes, I know what you're saying. We need to have those things being posted on our accounts regularly. And when I talk about Google, one of the things that I think we need to take more advantage of is the ability to blog. So I use a lot of different media to get a blog out. And one of the things that I do is you can go to Google, and you might want to write this down. You can go to Google and say, what is trending in the real estate industry?
Okay.
Getting a subject there is very helpful. And then I would go to ChatGPT and I would say, I would like it to write an article that is the top 5 things or top 3 things. And then who are we talking to? Well, we're talking to a buyer, we're talking to a seller, or we're talking to an investor that they should know about that event. This is something that's trending. And then have it craft the article. And then you can do images, you can add an image to this article, whatever. I post my blogs on my KV Core website, and often will try and incorporate video into my blogs because it makes it more entertaining for the user.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm done and I like what I'm seeing in my blog, I save my blog and then I grab the URL and I go back over to Google and I say in my Google account that there is an article about, and just make a quick summary of what the article is about. And then I post a link. Whereas if someone reads my quick blurb in Google, they're also automatically brought back to my website where I can get them as a lead. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I have a team that's doing all the blogging and posting on social media and other platforms that do it on a regular basis. But I love using ChatGPT. I use it all the time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna I posted to the Wake Up Wednesday group that the Russ's meeting is at now. So that's what I thought I heard yesterday.
Part of our job is to be noticed. And if I was going to suggest any place to keep yourself fresh, it would definitely be on Google, because that's the #1 search engine. And Google likes to see stuff that's fresh content.
All right. Well, so this is a calendar meeting?
So the meeting at noon will be
this
with
meeting
us.
that we're having now.
No, this was a meeting talking about ways to keep you top of mind with a schedule, using a schedule.
Got it.
And I see Russ's face is so animated, but we can't hear him.
Yeah, he is always animated.
Yeah.
What's so wonderful about
Hard to know who he's talking to.
Oh, it's probably recruiting.
So Maria, what about you? Do you have any comments on this?
So I'm going to excuse myself to go to my other meeting that I double booked.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But thank you so much
Good to meet you.
2 words of pearls of wisdom here. I appreciate it, Celeste. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, Celeste, I'm glad you let me know that I need to update that because I was not aware of that.
You know, it's funny. I don't think anybody knows about it. And
Yeah.
I had two different tech people that I had put a shout out to yesterday. And one of them, he couldn't help. And he was like, I think I'm going to have to talk to somebody and ask them if they could help us, figure this out. And then the other one I talked to said, I think this has to do with your license needs to be updated. And I'm like, how would anybody know that?
Yeah. Right.
So my hope is that, just being in this room, I'm trying to help share my my stuff.
Yeah.
And also I would love to give people the names of different people that I work with, because one guy in particular is another EXP agent. Do you know his name? His name is James Yinger.
Sounds familiar, but I don't know where I know him from.
So he has a business on the side that he is helping agents do Google SEO to get leads. And he's not charging to help get that started for people. The only thing you pay for is the actual ad space.
Okay.
So
What was his name again?
First name is James, last name is Yinger, spelled Yinger.
Okay.
And he's actually, I believe he's a full-time police officer, and he's doing this Google search engine stuff to get business to come in. And as far as I'm concerned, what I like too is that he's giving me a designated territory, so no other EXP agent will be competing for the same business.
Nice.
So yesterday, let's see, how many days ago? A few days ago, I was talking with Tom Catlin. He's in our meetings. And he told me about a book that I don't know if you've read, but I'm reading it. And I find it is an ideal book for me. And especially when we're in these book club meetings, I find myself going into the gap more than I'm in the gain. So he told me about this book. It's called The Alter Ego Effect. And I got it on Audible. And it has really been enlightening as to the power that people have when it comes to, they almost create this other persona so that they can be even more powerful than they believe they are. And so I just thought I'd put that into the room.
Yeah.
And I know it's only you and I, Maria. So do you have any tidbits that you want to share?
For the Google profile, no. I'm going to have to definitely make sure I have everything updated, figure out how to do that.
Well, I'm excited about all that we're doing and we're learning. I also know that right now I feel like I'm waiting for some business to happen that is in the pipeline, but it's not happening fast enough.
Yeah.
So I got to get creative with what I'm doing. For instance, I took an opportunity. I was actually on a call with someone from a company that we do business with. And in our conversation, I had just finished getting done with our business. And I said to her, so are you moving anytime soon? I don't even know why I brought that up. I just did. And she said, well, as a matter of fact, my husband and I were just talking about it. I said, are you kidding? And she goes, no. And I said, well, naturally, I have to ask, do you have a realtor? And she said, no. So I have referred her to another EXP agent.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, are you listening to me, Russ? It's hard to tell if he's in this room or not. So, Maria, what about you? I know you're making all these phone calls to agents.
Yeah, right now I am focusing just on inviting agents to both the Bob Berg event and the live Ninja Selling Mastermind I'm going to be having. And that makes it a very easy conversation because I'm not asking for anything. I'm just inviting them to something. So it's being received really well. Yesterday I had 4 people register for the Bob Berg events, and I think I have like 7 or 8 people that have registered for the Ninja Selling events. But the title company that I'm hosting it at, they just pushed it out to everybody in their database. And I'm
Wow.
also having a home warranty company. They're sponsoring it with me, and so they're going to be paying for all the snacks and everything. So they're pushing it out to everybody in their database as well.
So are you going to
hopefully-
do a physical in-person
Mhm.
kind of meeting?
Yeah, and actually, Don just decided that he's going to do the same thing on this at the same time that I am, and I'm going to see if I can find a way to do it live. You know, like have my camera and have it on Zoom or Meet In or something like that, and have it live at the same time. So if other people want to jump in, they can.
So in other words, they don't have to be in the physical space that you're in?
I'm inviting everybody to be there physically, but there's a couple people that are like in Dallas or in Austin, stuff like that. So they can't make the drive twice a month because it's on the 2nd and 4th Thursday of every month. So they can't make the drive down to Waco
you're
every month.
talking about the Ninja Selling meeting. Okay.
When I'm doing live, yeah.
I was thinking about the Bob Berg meeting.
Yeah, I don't think I have enough time to schedule it live when I'm trying to schedule people to come live for the Ninja Selling at the same time. Because I had brought it up to a couple people and they said, that they can't do all of those. So since the Ninja Selling is going to be continuous, I'm going to be able to build better relationships there. So that's the one I'm inviting people to in person.
Okay. Well, and the one that's for Bob Berg, if I'm not mistaken, it is at 11 a.m. Central.
It's an hour and 15 minutes. So it's from 11 to 12:15.
Okay. I put it down in Facebook. I have it on my business Facebook page already. And I created a post and then I created an event. And the link is in the event. So hopefully we'll get people to notice the meeting through that.
Yeah.
But I loved your idea about doing the Ninja Selling Mastermind. Do you have you read it again just to be more proficient?
So I'm reading the section that we're going to be focusing on.
Which one is that?
So right now, for the first meeting, we're going to be, hold on, let me quickly grab it. We're going to be going through like the intro and kind of giving everybody expectations for how the whole course is going to go. And also, I'm hoping that by just doing the intro the first time, if people get inspired, they can invite other agents to attend once we actually start getting into the actual chapters.
Okay.
And I'm not doing it one chapter each week because that would be a year of meetings.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it by section. So, principle 1, which is only like 40 something pages, and they have 2 weeks to read it in between each meeting. So that should be ample time for them to read all of that. And then we will, once we get through all the principles, the appendices, we'll do one appendix each week.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So that way it'll give us more time to just focus on that.
Who came up with that idea? Did you do that?
Don and I were talking, and I want to do more in-person events. And I was doing some events at the Waco Board of Realtors, but I was pushing it out and I wasn't calling people at the time. I've done 2 events there. I was just doing it all through Waco, and I did not get a good turnout. I had 3 people the first time. And then the second time I only had 1 person, but she is very interested in moving over to EXP. She just got divorced and then got remarried and purchased a home and is selling her home. So she's kind of waiting for everything to settle down before she actually makes the move. But even if I only get 1 agent each time, it's still worth it. I'm still building those relationships.
Yeah, you are. Love that. And you're inspiring me to go back and read it again, because I feel like this was one of the better books. We've read books that I would never have read.
Yeah.
And now, I'm sitting with, a whole series of books in front of me.
Yeah.
And I just feel really glad that we're doing this.
For sure. Yeah.
So the book that we're in now, the one that's the ultimate sales machine,
Hmm.
is there anything that really surprised you that was said even today in our meeting?
Well, I know in this last chapter that we read, they talked about how I don't remember what event it was, but it was a virtual event, and they had everybody go live at the same time. So they had to tag the company and certain people into it, but they all went
Yeah.
live. I think things like that would actually really help draw attention to our events.
So you may have to implement that in your ninja selling meeting.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally. So the other thing that really got me was when the comment was made that over 80% of people mute videos when they're watching them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Makes you realize the value of having these videos captioned.
for sure. What platform
And
do you use? A certain platform to edit the videos that you create?
I have a bunch of videos. I haven't had them edited yet. And my
Mhm.
video editor keeps pushing on me saying, why aren't you sending them? So there's a little disconnect in me getting them over to him. But he did just send me, he sent me the set of directions that I need to know. So I have
Okay.
to go through the directions. Because the issue is changing from a Apple environment to a Google environment. That's how they
Yeah,
want to receive them.
yeah,
Are you editing your own?
I am. I can't afford to have anybody else do anything for me right now, so I'm doing everything on my own.
Let me ask you something. When you say that, what does that mean to you? What do you think it's going to cost you?
No, like I am living paycheck to paycheck right now. So my husband makes less than half of what I make each
Mm,
month. So we are just living paycheck to paycheck. Because we bought a house that we had to completely gut and renovate. So we put all of our extra money into that.
hmm
So yeah, we are barely getting by. So we have no extra money.
I'm wishing for you. I thought, for what it's worth, I thought I would let you know that the video guy that I have
Mm-hmm.
tells me they'll charge $6 an hour.
How many hours does it normally take him?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to give them a couple and see how long it takes them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they stretch it out to be like more,
Yeah.
then I'm not going to continue.
Yeah.
But,
Well, and my 16-year-old, he's just finishing a course in high school where they're doing video editing and stuff like that. So I'm going to let him try editing a couple of my videos. And then I'll just pay him if he does a good job so it can take something else off my plate.
well, and plus, if you pay him, there's tax benefits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's another thing. I'm in the process. So in Texas, we were not allowed to have like an LLC or a C Corp or anything like that until the beginning of this year,
Mhm.
unless we were a broker. So I'm trying to get all that set up too.
So there was a new ruling by tax code, by the way, that you may want to know about.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the FinCEN BOI. Do you know about this?
I don't think so.
My tax accountant just talked about it this morning in a networking meeting. And what I would do is make sure that do you have an accountant, right?
I do. I have a CPA, and I don't think he's very good because I've asked him multiple times about setting up an LLC and everything, and he's like, "Oh no, you don't need that. It's not going to give you any kind of benefits." So I'm going to be looking for somebody else.
Can I ask you, you're selling real estate, right?
Um, very rarely.
Okay.
I don't. I'm focused. I actually recently listened to The One Thing and
Mhm.
with my husband. So I decided that I'm going to start focusing on obviously my director of agent happiness position, but then agent attraction. I'm trying to get him into the actual real estate side,
Mhm.
but he works full time and then he works on the farm. So he's getting into it, but he's only calling for a couple hours on Friday. And I'm trying to explain to him you can't run any business off of like 2 or 3 hours a week. So
No. So could he do something else that he could do every day, maybe 2 hours a day?
well, we sat down and we made a schedule, and it was going to give him 2 hours a day, Monday through Thursday. Then he's off Friday, and then he would put more time in on Friday. But it's been about a month, and he's only done his tasks on Friday. So he's busy, but he also, by the time he gets home from work, he's exhausted. So
Yeah, I get it. But you know, those little things that you do, if you do them on over time, they build up.
yeah. And a part of it's that he's new, so he's slow at calling and putting his notes in and all that kind of stuff. So I know as he gets more comfortable with it, he's also very he doesn't know what to say when he's talking to people. So we're trying to do role play and stuff like that when he has time to get him comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I know part of it is that he's kind of making excuses because he's afraid of making the calls.
Well, could he do something else that could bring money in quicker? I mean, I'm joking here, but I'm going to say like be a gigolo. Just kidding.
Well, he could do almost anything else and get paid what he gets paid. Like what he gets paid is what a college kid gets paid working at Chick-fil-A. And he's been there for 20 something years.
Oh my.
So, but he was raised that if you have a job and you can make your bills, you don't rock the boat and you don't do anything else. So he has that mindset where he's not really trying. He knows he needs to better himself, but he just, has that mental block. So.
Wow. He needs that book, The Alter Ego, more than I do.
Yeah, I'm going to get that on Audible. And then I'm going to make sure I listen to it with him.
Mm-hmm. Because you'd be surprised at how many people have that issue. Just I'm going to say it's reluctance, but it's more than that. It's something about your identity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason why I keep asking those questions, by the way, is just between you and me. I believe there's some way that he could use his skill without having to feel like he's in front of people and make money.
Yeah.
And one of the ways is through affiliate marketing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm learning all kinds of tricks. And one of them, I have one right here, as a matter of fact. It talks about creating music and posting it to Spotify. And as people are listening, if they use your song, you're getting paid if it gets to at least 1 million views. You can make anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000 a month.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and we've calculated it here. The housing, it's only like $250,000 to $300,000 is the average house sale price. And he would honestly only need to sell one home a month to make up what he's making.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to use that as an incentive. If you can just get 12 transactions a year, you can retire from Sam's Club and you can work solely on real estate.
Maybe you got to have somebody talk to him that's not you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it sounds like a teenager,
No, I know. Yeah. No, I had him get on a meeting with Don. I told Don beforehand, I'm like, he's not going to accept anything from me. If he hears it from somebody else, we have a better chance of him actually getting on board and implementing it. And he seemed like he was kind of all excited after talking to Don. And that's when we made his calendar. But then he's just never followed through with it.
I think what also I hear him looking for is something he doesn't have to think about. Mm-hmm. He just does it.
Yeah. And a huge thing is that he is not tech savvy. He's never had to have a job where he didn't even know how to send emails.
Yeah, it's got to be obvious. Like, do this, then you do this, then you do this. Even if it was to set something up so you could finish it.
Yeah. And I told him, if you're talking to these leads and you feel like you need a certain kind of campaign, you tell me what you need to create and I'll create it for you to make it easier. But I think, he doesn't know what he doesn't know. So he doesn't know what kind of campaigns, even though we have campaigns set up and everything that I've created, he doesn't know what he needs.
Yeah.
So
looking at this from the outside perspective, it's very much like I'm very familiar with this because that's how my brother is.
Yeah.
He knows what he knows and he doesn't want to change. And he doesn't see sometimes that what he's doing is he's only restricting himself.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't want to see it.
Yeah.
And it's so darn frustrating when you see it. Like you can see it, I can see it, but they don't see it.
And he is so good at talking to people. I tell him all the time. I'm like, you're very outgoing and you're going to do really good at it. It's just he has a mental block right now that I'm trying to find a way to get him past that.
Yeah, he needs to see someone who is just like himself,
Mm-hmm.
who is doing it.
Yeah.
Which I know is going to be challenging because I don't think there are too many people who are that mindset. It's almost like they're afraid to change. They know what they know and they don't want to change.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy. And with me, it's just the opposite. I'm always like, oh, I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. Like, I got to stop that.
I know. I'm the same way.
Yeah, I know. You and I think are more alike than we are not. With that said, though, I know that you're really hitting it out of the ballpark when it comes to talking with agents. And so my wonder is, how are you getting on the phone? What is that? Like, what do you lead with?
So right now I am introducing myself because these are all agents that I don't know. When I had the classes at the Waco Board of Realtors, I don't know if she was supposed to, but the person I was communicating with was new. So she gave me the entire roster of agents that are registered with the Waco Board of Realtors. So I have like their name, phone number, and email. So I'm trying to just introduce myself. I'm actually introducing myself as being from Expert Partners, because I know a lot of people, as soon as I say EXP, they're like, oh, well, I don't want you to recruit me. And they try to hang up.
Yeah.
So by saying Expert Partners, people don't know who it is. So they they're more willing to listen. And I'm just letting them know that Alamo Title and I have partnered together and we're having a mastermind. I'm inviting them to it. And then we just kind of go with the conversation from there. But there's a lot of people also that have said, yeah, they're interested and haven't registered. And I'm sure there's still going to be people that register and don't actually show up.
So do you have a campaign that you're sending out that incorporates something that they could at least get their mind around?
Yeah. So I've sent out some emails, but I was holding off until Alamo Title sent out theirs, just so they saw it was legit, that they saw it come from Alamo Title, somebody that they know. And they just did that like on Monday. So I've sent out a couple of emails since then. And then I don't see who responds to Alamo Title's, emails. So I'm now trying to go through the list of like 1,200 agents and invite them one at a time. Okay. And I'm trying to get that done before next Thursday. So That's a lot of agents to call.
Well, and have you ever had anyone just really get mad at you that you're calling?
No, I've had a couple people say, that they have their license. They don't actually do anything with it. They don't even really use it for themselves. They just keep it active. And I've tried to switch the conversation over to like referral status, and see if that's something they're interested in. And they just kind of end the conversation. There's been a couple people that just hang up on me, but that's it. So, and that doesn't bother me. Rejection's fine with me.
Yeah, I was going to say, knowing the scenario, I would definitely say that's not you, that's them. That's them. They don't want to, just like your husband. He doesn't want to change. They don't want to change.
Yeah. And it's crazy because some people, I will call them and they're like, well, I know everything I'm going to learn. And I don't need any of their education. I'm like, oh, okay. So.
It's scary, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
That's what's out there.
Yeah.
That's why when I talk with people, and I'm always talking about the newest thing, the latest, what's trending.
Yeah.
People listen and they're like, how do you know all this? It's like,
yeah,
because I learn. I want to be around people that are doing.
Yes.
And I don't know everything. I know I don't, but I love learning and I want to be the one that knows. And if I can pick up a tidbit from one person that says the right thing in front of me, do you not think I'm going to pick it up and go and run with it?
For sure. Yeah.
I love sharing. That's the other thing. I made a comment in our session the other day, and I know that Russ took it that I might be serious, but I wasn't. And the comment was something about, oh, I wanted to not share. I had an idea about ways to get new leads coming in. And it was researching attorneys that do
Yes.
estate planning or
I remember that.
foreclosures. Yeah. And all I wanted to say was, I was actually not saying that on purpose. I
Yeah.
was saying it for the moment to get people to listen.
Yeah.
But either way, speaking of that, I actually had my title person give me a list of attorneys that do estate planning.
Oh, nice.
So I got to add those to my list of calls to make. But
Yeah.
it's funny how, this isn't a business that's rocket science. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
I should give myself my own advice. Yeah, I feel lucky. I'm sad more people are not in the room.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter who you are. It seems like that's an issue everybody has. I had a meeting with the designated broker for Texas because I met her at one of our Dallas events at the beginning of April. And Dawn was talking to her about, how I help the agents with onboarding. So she wanted to connect with me. And I was telling her what we're doing. She's like, you're doing everything that you can do. And she was asking about our attendance. I'm like, well, out of like 850 people, we have on a good event, we have about 30 people that attend. It's like the book club is only 30 people.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And she's like, well, they don't know what they have with Dawn. I'm like, yeah, I know. We have a lot of really good coaches and nobody takes advantage of it. And it's just, to me, it's insane because I love learning. I'm always doing extra course classes when I can, if I can fit it into my time or if I can get it on demand, because I think that's the only way that we're going to keep progressing, is if we keep getting out there and learning what we can learn.
I don't know where to get this, but I would also add, I would really like to get a list together of podcasts that are worthy of listening to.
Yeah.
I don't know where to source that.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I bring that up is somebody was talking about that they had a podcast. And I was like, where have podcasts been? I haven't been a part of them. I listen to Audible, but I'm not listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, our focus should always be on, we're obviously in the business of selling real estate, but we should also be learning to sharpen our tools.
Yes, I agree.
And sometimes sharpening tools could be something as simple as just make sure you're putting out the information that reflects who you really are. My example would be is when you have profiles that are on different websites and the profiles still have the effect that you promoted yourself in 2022, but you haven't updated it since then. That's the kind of thing that I think, we should be policing all the different websites that our information shows up on and say, are we updating it or are we kiboshing that information? Because that's how people perceive who we are. If it's old, we must not be in business anymore.
Yeah.
And I loved in our meeting, I think it was yesterday, where in the book, The Ultimate Salesman, it was talking about the website, subjectline.com. Who would have thought? Did you check it out?
I have it pulled up, but I haven't been able to have time to play with it yet.
I haven't either.
Garrett.
Hi, Garrett. Where's your face?
Yeah, I don't think I did this right.
Why is that? Your camera's up on the top in the middle.
All right, there you go. Hey, can y'all hear me too?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Where are you joining us from?
Home.
Where's that?
In Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that anywhere near Newport News, Virginia?
So Newport News is probably about an hour, maybe hour and 20 east
North?
of here.
Oh, east of you.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. I ask because I just referred someone to an EXP agent, and the person is in Newport News.
Oh, okay.
Never even heard of it before.
You never heard of Newport News before, or
No.
where
I
are
hear
you from?
it's near.
You're in Illinois.
Well, I'm in the northwest area of Chicago.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's kind of near the beach, Newport News. Of course, I'm doing this on my phone, so it's gonna try to ring while I'm on here. So Newport News is closer to the beach, though.
Okay.
That's a nice area. It's not too bad.
Well, we were just talking about different things we can use or do to improve our business and our sales skills and our education. So you kind of missed out, but we're actually recording this session. So
Okay.
hopefully it'll be able to be replayed at your convenience.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I was invited. Mark Adams invited me to this. My wife's in real estate. He's a realtor with DXP, and I'm just kind of sitting in, just kind of seeing what it's about. He invited me to it, so I'm here.
Well,
Seeing
you're
what
going to
you
want
guys
to
are
sit in on the next meeting as well. That starts at noon.
Okay.
It's noon for me. It's not for you. It's 1 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, I was surprised to see people on here because I was early. Yeah, so when it like people were already there interacting, I was like, wait, did I have this in my calendar incorrectly or?
No, this is a session that I always we've been trying to find the right time to have a meeting like this, but it's called Roulette Mastermind. And the concept that I use for the name Roulette is that each week we cover something that's unique, that's different. And last week we talked about ways that you can use things that could be great follow-up to when you've closed on a prospect. You have a client, they've closed, now what? And I have a whole bunch of I had a whole bunch of material ready for that meeting, and no one came.
Oh,
so Maria,
well,
you
that's
missed it.
I know.
Yeah.
I was in a meeting.
Yeah, but it was made me prepare. That was the one thing that I learned from it, is to prepare, so you are prepared for the ideas, whatever you might get.
Right.
So we might have that one another session. We'll do
I
that.
got you. Okay, so who's on this with us? How many
So
people are in this?
right now, it's whoever wants to come in. That's who's here.
Okay.
Coach Russ he's in our upline. You know, like where I joined, somebody invited me to EXP, and then someone invited them. Russ is above them. He's my 4 levels up.
Okay, I got you.
And he happens to be a former coach for Keller Williams for a program that's called Bold. So he's a really, really well-versed coach.
Okay.
And Maria, where'd you come from before all this?
I was with Keller Williams for a year.
Okay. And you know what, Maria, as long as you're in the room, tell Garrett what you do.
So I'm the director of agent happiness for our whole group. So one level above Russ is Allison Gaddy, and our whole organization, Allison's whole organization, is called EPIC, or Expert Partners Inner Circle. And so I assist agents as they're going through the onboarding process. And then once they're onboarded, if any issues come up, I'm there to help assist them.
Okay.
So you're talking with a higher up muckety muck in Maria.
Yeah. Well, all you guys sound above my pay grade a little bit. I just own a paint contracting company, so I'm just like I said, he invited me in. I didn't even know really what I was getting into, and so I just kind of popped in just to see what it was all about. And so,
well, you're going to love this session at noon, or I keep calling it noon because it's for Chicago time.
Yeah.
But you're going to love that session. Russ goes over using your calendar and how to make sure you make the most of the time that you have in a given year. And So that's a really, really good session.
Okay.
Who did you say invited you?
Mark Adams, and he's with he's with EXP.
Mhm.
My wife is working with him. She just got her real estate license. So I mean, I'm really just a licensed paint contractor. But I had gotten some interest in trying to invest in real estate. As I get older, I realize that I need to, have myself positioned better for when I, retire. And owning the paint company has definitely put me in a different financial position. But I definitely felt like I needed more, and so I want to kind of get into flipping houses a little bit and maybe having some rental property, stuff like that. So that's really where I fit into any of the real estate stuff, is just kind of being interested in getting some properties. So
Fantastic. Well, Russ does the same.
oh, does he? But
Yeah,
that's
Russ is a coach, but he
Mhm.
is also really, really into investing in real estate and flipping property. And so
Mhm.
right now he is actually technically homeless,
Yeah,
which means nothing because he's sitting in Puerto Rico right
yeah.
now. And
Well, that's okay.
he's not homeless, but he's
Right.
looking for a property to buy.
Yeah, it's I mean I have only practiced on two properties as far as on the construction end for renovating something and bringing its value up. My dad had two condominiums that were very small, and they weren't um, you know, big dollar properties or anything like that, but it was good practice for us. I went in and renovated the whole place, and then Mark sold them for us, and we turned a pretty good profit on it. I know I did.
Hmm.
My dad just sold them to me for what he, originally bought them for, which was only 30,000. So, oh shoot, they're trying to. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey. Okay, that's cool. Can I cash app him? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I have it. All right, thanks, guys. No problem. Appreciate it. Sorry, my Jeep's getting detailed. So, we had flipped those two, and then we were gonna get into another property. But my stepdad, he's really into Bitcoin, and so like when Bitcoin's acting up, he starts to hold on. So he kind of backed out as being my investor on it. So just kind of the whole idea is stalled out a little bit, so to speak. So
Well, there's all kinds of ways to get the thing done. And you may want to connect with other people that are also interested in investing. And maybe you could do a joint venture where they do the money and you do some of the work.
yeah, yeah. No, I think that is kind of what I had hoped I had with so his name's Vinny. He's my stepfather, but he's my chosen father kind of deal. So just to give you the backstory on that. But he was going to be on the investment side of obtaining property, and then I was going to carry the financial load of the renovations and and any of that side of things. But in the absence of the property, for me to be able to do my thing with, you know, can't really do much. So I am kind of back to the drawing board on it to try to figure out who or what it would look like to have financial backing or something, that'll kind of get me moving.
I recommend having a conversation with Russ, and there's another gentleman whose name is Client, and you should be talking with them because they
Mhm.
might be interested.
Who?
Well, Russ being the
Russ. I got that
coach,
one. The other one you
and then
said?
the other gentleman is named Client,
Oh, okay.
Clyent.
hmm
So, yeah, I just think that they might be really good people for you to connect with.
Okay. Well, how would I connect? I mean, obviously Russ is on here, but how would I connect with this other individual?
I'm gonna put out his name is, let's see, Client. His last name is Myrie, Myrie, and I
And
can give
spell,
you his what?
spell their first name again. It's Client, but he spells it strange. How is it
Yeah,
spelled?
it's Clyent.
ENT. Okay.
And his phone number is 256 457 3282.
Okay.
Give him a call. Tell him
Okay.
Celeste said to call you.
What was your name again?
My name's Celeste. It's in the screen.
Yeah, I gotta, pardon me, I gotta squint.
That's okay. I'm really like Cher. You just have to know my name's Celeste. Right, Maria?
Celeste, do you think it would be worth having one of these meetings where we're going over different like guarantees and offers you can present to your potential sellers? So for example, there's 3 different things that I am going to start advertising for to try to generate seller leads. One is a satisfaction guarantee. The other one is a guaranteed sold, and then a cash offer. So, with express offers, we can obviously do a cash offer before we even list the property. And then I have the satisfaction guarantees. It's an easy out, basically. If at any time they want to back out, they can. And then the other one is a guaranteed sold. And let me quickly, I'll actually share my screen and show you. Somebody had shared this with Dawn and I at an event we went to beginning of April, I believe. So this is a guaranteed sold. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
And I can share this with you because I'm sure it's really small on your screen. But there's different stipulations. So for example, obviously it can't be land. It can't be, so no vacant land or luxury. And there's, what it requires, there's going to be at least 10 showings in the first 3 weeks. And if there's no offer, then you lower the price. They have to agree to list the home at what you suggest. So I think just little things like that, even though this is most of the time, everybody's going to fall within the stipulation, and you won't have to utilize the guaranteed sold because they're going to be going by your requirements where you can drop the price and everything as needed within those 60 days. But I think that's going to be it's going to be enticing for sellers knowing that they have this kind of protection.
Yeah, let's talk about that on our next session.
Mm-hmm. And I'll share this with you. Here, let me see.